welcome to the Front Three podcast, and of course, your favourite three gentlemen, myself, Big Will, Coach Dan, and the prodigy himself.
Would you say the fans, I'm their favourite? Just asking. Would you say?
What kind of dragging were you receiving on social media?
No. But listen, hate is only a form of love not logically expressed, okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
So the guys who are dragging me, they really love me. They were just surprised by my comments. They should be surprised by my comments, okay? Because I speak the truth.
Of course, and Coach, how are you getting on?
No, I'm all right, guys. You know, second week of Champions League football, the best thing to do on your weekday, isn't it?
Yeah, can't ask for anything better, right?
Nah, I can't.
You know when you hear the Champions League anthem, you get those that you're like, oh.
You know, it's funny. I saw on social media some African beat behind the Champions League, and I think
the Afrobeat.
I think is the next one, guys. It's so beautiful. If you head on your TV, not only are you in anticipation for football, you want to get up and dance also. So hopefully,
you think UEFA would allow that?
Why not? All right, guys. AJ, first of all, you got to tell the people what they need to do.
Guys, look, some of you, TikTok guys, you lot have been dragging me, but I like the engagement. So guys, let us know in the comments both on TikTok, Instagram. Let us know what your thoughts are about our episodes. Also, my Twitter crew, guys, send us some tweets. Let us know how you feel. Let us know whether you agree with us, disagree with us. And of course, our YouTube guys. Come on, man. Send me some comments. Let me know how you guys are feeling and whether you feel the content that I'm giving you guys and some of the controversial stuff this guy always says as well. But yeah.
Yeah, so welcome to part 2 of our Champions League round of 16 preview. We've done part 1, make sure you go back and watch that. So today, let's focus on the second part. And Coach, I have to start with you and your favourite team apart from Fulham. So we've got Liverpool versus Real Madrid. So this is last year's Champions League final.
Tasty.
Okay. Tasty fixture, as AJ just said. What are your thoughts going into this match?
Well, I think out of all the teams left in this Champions League round, these are historically the most renowned teams in the competition. I think most people would agree with that, right?
Yeah. Apart from AC Milan as well.
Well, they've gone missing for a few years, but they're back. only for this round. Only for this round.
Oh wow!
I think it's weird the dynamic going on between these two clubs this season. They both suffered losses that just unusual losses that you won't associate with these kind of clubs. I think Liverpool are just lost. They don't know what's happening right now, which will be a difficult thing for them to get out of. But Liverpool, apart from the game that they lost against Napoli in the group stages, which was very embarrassing, I think they've galvanized themselves pretty well. Went on 5 straight wins, I believe it was. And listen, the Champions is weird, right? Because I say you need momentum. You need it. I think it's a very big thing in your domestic league going into the Champions League. But I also think Champions League for these clubs, these kinds of clubs, can be sort of like that changing gears for them. You know, they can just turn up one day and just play. Real Madrid is a big example for that. Sometimes Real Madrid are losing games, drawing in the Liga, then they come Champions League and they're just a whole different team. Yeah. And so I think for the neutral, this is a beautiful game to watch. Liverpool might think, oh, perfect time for us to get revenge. Although the final is a much bigger stage, right? To win there and than the knockout run. But it's tough because both teams can't afford to drop out.
Yeah, facts.
It's a big failure because you look at Real Madrid
But
right
Real Madrid,
now,
they've won it, you know.
they've won it, but they need something because I think Barcelona is going to take La Liga.
But for me, I feel like Real Madrid are allowed an off year, to be honest.
You say that. As a neutral, you say that. Real Madrid are not allowed an off year. It's Real Madrid. You say they've won the Champions League how many times in the recent years, right? People just expect them to be there. Not in the least, mate. You can't fail at the first hurdle.
I don't feel if they go out, Ancelotti, for example, is going to be under pressure just because if you think about their team, Modric, Kroos, Benzema, they're heading towards the twilight of their career. So there's a bit of a transition going on in Real Madrid at the moment. So I feel like if they don't get through, it's not as much.
Well, you mentioned Benzema. He just won the Ballon d'Or. But you can't win the Ballon d'Or, then just be winding down.
But you can't look at his form this season. Hasn't been as good. I know he's been injured as well, but
I think looking at how they're doing domestically, and Real Madrid are not far off. But if you're Real Madrid and you're trailing Barcelona by 5 points, you're doing terrible in La Liga.
That means you don't rate this
in La Liga. So I think this tie is a great opportunity for both teams to wrong to right the wrongs of the season so far. And Liverpool have extra motivation because they lost the final, you know? And so I know Real Madrid is taking part in the Club World Cup also. So that was, you would want to wait and see how the players come back, how they feel and everything like that. But it'll be an interesting time.
So who's your prediction?
If you didn't know already.
Oh.
Come on, man. If you didn't know, Klopp's his dad.
I thought you were going to give us a tactical breakdown. This is where the game will be won and lost.
Well, I mean, I think that might need another episode. I think that might need another episode.
You're about to get him started on Trent.
It's weird, isn't it? To win the Champions League tie like this, you need to score goals. Liverpool can't find goals anywhere. At
But
least
they're
Real Madrid
shipping
are scoring goals. I'll still go for Liverpool.
Okay, AJ, who are you going for?
Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. Simple as that.
Liverpool.
Los Blancos will do it.
It will be a 0-0 first leg, 0-0 second leg, and Liverpool win on penalties.
Do you know what? That's exactly what I just feel like. Do you know what? I just feel like right now Liverpool are trying to problem solve. There's no answers. Like if you do the maths equation, the maths not mathing.
No.
So, and I just feel like with Real Madrid, you know, Vinicius is still such a threat. Even if Benzema's not scored, they've just got threats all over the park, and they can score goals. You know, Liverpool. It's sad to say, but I just can't see them. I just can't see them progressing past Real Madrid. I think Real Madrid have the know-how to beat Liverpool, whereas right now Liverpool don't even know how to. They don't know how to. Does that make sense? They don't know how to.
It's like you say, the maths is not maths.
Yeah.
They're in dire straits right now, man. And you can tell by Jurgen Klopp in the interview, he just seems so irritated. He doesn't want to talk to anyone. He doesn't want to. Because, you know, we were speaking off air. It's like, do you think the standards have dropped at the training sessions? No. In fact, if anything, he's proper bashing into them now. But for whatever reason, it just doesn't
But if you
work.
look back at Klopp's record, interestingly, the 7th year is always the year where
Oh, that thing is nonsense, by the way.
But
I think this is what I think here. I think people do that. They say
But
that about
stats don't lie, though.
they say that about Jose
Stats don't
Mourinho.
lie.
So it builds up the tension of that. What's
It
happening?
must be something, right?
I don't believe
Names.
so. I don't believe so. I think
with Liverpool, it's not rocket science. They sold the wrong people at the wrong time, and they've just had terrible injuries. And right now, you're just finding out those players who can handle the level and the pressure of Liverpool and those who can't. And right now, it's like a little bit of a... Liverpool go through a transition in the summer as well, I believe. And so this is like, it's rearing its head now. Because you look at Klopp and he actually genuinely can't even describe why this is happening. So it means that at training, things are fine. It's just once they cross that white line, something doesn't click.
Yeah. You can tell on the sideline. He just seems like he's bemused. He's
Yeah.
like, wait, this is not what we talked about before we walked out here.
Exactly.
So yeah.
I think I agree with some of the stuff you said, but the word transition is being overused in football now.
Do you know why I'm saying?
Highly
Do you know why I'm
overused now.
saying they're going for a transition though?
Go on.
Because if you look at the players that have been with them when they won the stuff in the last couple of years, Mane has now gone. Firmino has about a couple months left on his deal. They're trying to negotiate one, but he's been injured a lot. Then you look into midfield. Henderson, he doesn't seem the same player anymore. You know, he's looking. Van Dijk is now injured. Matip has been making crazy errors recently. So that guard that was there, that was solid and everything else, it seems as if now it's like, oh, okay, we're coming towards the end now. How can we amicably keep you here, but bring in fresh blood that can come in and take over? And I think, the sign of Cody Gakpo is one of them. Nunes is another. Like Jota, when he comes back, he's going to be like a new signing as well. Diaz, who was a new signing as well. So can you see, it's like there's been a remolding and a reshaping of that current squad and that current team. So I just feel like maybe the word transition is big, but I feel like there's a reshaping and a remolding, and they're struggling with that at the moment.
They are.
Definitely. If you guys at home agree or disagree whether or not Liverpool are or are not in transition, let us know. Also, do you agree with our predictions? Real Madrid versus Liverpool? Please let us know. Let's move on to the next match then, gents. So I've given you the Italian assignment, AJ. You've got Napoli versus Frankfurt. Napoli riding high at the moment. Arguably the best team in Europe. Current form, can't really disagree. How do you see this tie going?
Do you know what? Personally, I think this is the most exciting tie. I think, and I'm looking at it from, again, players and battles on the pitch. Napoli, 10 points clear, Serie A.
13.
13 points now clear, Serie A.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
13?
Flying. And Spalletti, sir, I got to salute your work this season. You're doing a great job. He's built a team that functions, thrives, and plays fantastic football. And I love watching them in the Champions League because I feel like in the Champions League, they add a little bit more pizzazz. I don't know why. They just go for the jugular. And the reason why I'm saying, I think personally for me, it's the most exciting game is because Frankfurt as well, playing some great football. They're fifth in fifth in the Bundesliga. I think they're about 3 points or so behind Dortmund, who are in third. So that means that they're also on a decent run of games. And of course, we look at the strikers. I think it's going to be a battle of the strikers. Osimhen, 16 goals, 17 games, throwing a couple of assists as well into the mixer. And he is an absolute unit. Like, he's an old school number 9, but just with everything else. Like, he's strong, he's powerful, he makes great runs in behind. He scores all different type of goals. I think the other day he scored a header and he beat Ronaldo's leap record by a bit. You know, he's got everything right now. And he embodies what Spalletti's about with Napoli, like high octane. He presses, he wins the ball, the desire, the hunger. And then you've got Muani, who has 28 goals and assists this season so far, which is incredible for a young man who, I don't know, you probably think after the World Cup final when he missed that one-on-one will probably regress, you know, such a young age, you know, but he's come to the forefront at Frankfurt. So it'll be a battle of those two. And it'll be a battle with Kvaratskhelia and Ramada as well for
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt.
Man. I think we clap for that, man. That name, I don't even attempt it, guys.
But his link up with Osimhen is crazy. Like it's almost like Son and Kane-esque, if I can say that. With the way they find each other, they've got a great understanding. And when that guy cuts in and lets off a rocket, it's going top corner. So he's thrown in his weight behind it as well. And then you've got Ramada, who's, I think he scored about 13 goals or so this season as well for Frankfurt, who's very bright, likes to pick up good pockets as well. So it'll be a battle, but I think Napoli will just have too much with Frankfurt. I think Napoli are an absolute steam train. And I think it will take a very, very good team to stop them this year. I think they've just got everything just right. They've experienced the youthism as well. Di Lorenzo still in that team, pulling up trees. You know, I just feel like Spalletti is in his bag this season. And so I'm really excited for that game.
A word, coach, who's going to win this game?
This tie. Sorry. I think, there's not much argument against Napoli in the kind of football that they are playing. And they just don't seem to, they can't stop scoring goals. We're just touching on Liverpool, who can't score goals. You've got a team here that just scores goals for fun. Everywhere you look, they're just creating chance after chance after chance, which is quite weird because, you know, in their midfield, there's a bit of a player that never really made it at Fulham in Anguissa. And then you got one that never made it at Tottenham in Ndombele. But there, they just look like different kind of players. And so credit to Luciano for sort of like reviving their careers as such, because it wasn't going good for them. So I mean, all credit to them. What I would love to see, though, of course, I think Serie A is done and dusted now. I would love to see how far they can go in the Champions League. And by what they've shown so far, they could be a surprise package for a lot of teams. If you come up against, I'll put it this way, I don't think a lot of teams will be lining up to play against
Napoli. No chance. No chance.
No chance. So there's a question out there for you guys at home. Can anyone stop Napoli this season? It'll be definitely interesting to see. Last two ties then of the round of 16. AJ, we've got Porto versus Inter Milan.
This is a tie that doesn't fill me with much excitement.
Really?
Do you know why?
The country's playing.
Don't start. That's just an inside one. Yeah.
I think, and the reason why I say this is this. Inter are second, Porto are second in their leagues, okay? So they're doing well, okay? You know, both scoring decent amount of goals here and there. But when I look at the ties, right, I'm just like, I just feel like Inter will win. I just feel like they've got so much more experience with you know, Lukaku, Martinez, Çalhanoğlu in midfield. Like, they've just got a nice blend of experience and players who've been around the Champions League and, you know, can turn it on when they need to. And they're having a decent season. I mean,
I think they're playing well now. And think about it, like you said, their group was one of the hardest.
Yeah.
They got through with Barcelona and Bayern in that group. So
yeah. So I just feel like right now, they're an experienced group who know how to win games, you know. And look, truth be told, if Napoli weren't blowing Serie A out the wall like they are, really and truly, it's been a decent season so far for them. So it'll be interesting. I think one of the key men I'm looking at for Inter will be Lautaro Martinez. He's been in rich goal-scoring vein.
Except for the World Cup.
Except for the World Cup, where I don't know about him. So it could be when the pressure's on, can he deliver?
Yeah.
And we will see that in this game.
True.
And I think, you know, Porto have great experience as well. You know, you got the stalwart Pepe still holding it down at the back, and we saw what he did in the group stages. He was absolutely great.
Yeah.
You know, so to have someone like that in your change room and in and around your group always gives you another level to push on, another level of desire and commitment. So I'd say I think Inter will tip it for me. I just think that they have a bit more craft than Gal in the midfield areas, and then I think they'll just take it to Porto. But again, if it's a draw the first leg, a draw the second leg, and goes to penalty, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
So, but you know, it's football. You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
But I'd say Inter personally.
Yeah, Porto chances.
Well, the question was asked, right? Can any team stop Napoli? Inter did recently, didn't they?
They did.
So like he said, I think the experience, they got guile. But Porto, I wouldn't want to write them off either. It's a tough fixture. Look, let me be a bit controversial on it.
They did top their group, Porto.
And they did as well. Just to give you
their group.
Just to excite AJ a bit. I'll go for Porto. I think Porto will see this tie through.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, interesting. So final tie to look at then, Coach. Pep Guardiola, Manchester City versus RB Leipzig, who are in good form. I don't think they've lost a game in the last 16. So they're going great guns at the moment. How do you see this tie going? Of course, with Manchester City, it's all about the Champions League. I mean, I think Guardiola has even said it this year. Like, this is the trophy that everyone wants them, or they need to win. They know they need to win this. Let's just talk about this tie then. How do you see this tie going?
I think this tie have two teams that you enjoy their football, right? You enjoy watching their football. So that's a great spectacle for the neutral to sort of like sit in anticipation for.
Some great matchups as well. Gavidal and Haaland.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Only one person's winning that anyway.
there is all across the pitch. I think, you know, but such as the level that City are now, where a draw is not deemed a good result for them. And the last few games in the Champions League, they weren't at their best. You know, they just saw the league through. Maybe it can just be, I don't know, just complacency. They know how good they are. They know they're going to go through. So that could have played a part. So I'm not so sure. One thing is that there's a lot of talk recently about City's form in the league. I get it. They've lost 4 times. It's unusual. But I don't think they've been that bad. I wouldn't think so anyway. And of course, then there's this conversation, and I would like to hear what you guys think about it after, in the sense that our City as a team and Haaland, is that a good relationship? Are they a good couple?
Did he pick the wrong team, Haaland?
Did he pick the wrong team, right? But what's the one thing that we've been saying about Pep Guardiola when they got to this Champions League is that, well, at least in his time at City, in that they need that player that can take them over the line. So let's go with the narrative that perhaps, you know, he's not picked the right team, and City are less of a, they don't have their full identity with him in there. Well, guess what? Look how many goals he scored. Maybe he might be the player that actually gets them past the finishing line that for many years, although they've been City, they've not managed to cross that line. I think if that happens, and barring Pep Guardiola overthinking that he's always accused of, right? When it comes to Champions League, he overthink things, and, you know, who knows, man, he might start with,
Haaland on the left.
Haaland at left back or somewhere, I don't know, really, just to spring a surprise on Leipzig, you know what I'm saying?
You're not taking it away.
It's just in Pep Guardiola's nature to do that. I think that is sort of like the conundrum they need to solve.
Yeah.
Leipzig are on great form.
Yeah.
They're on great form. They play some really good stuff. But when you come up against Manchester City is one of those teams that forces you to change the way you want to play.
Yeah. But I can see this being quite a high-scoring tie, to be honest.
It could be. It could be. Because City, it's weird because City's defense now isn't what you would have hoped it would be, right? With João Cancelo leaving and Ruben Diaz not playing as many games now, it's all bizarre. In fact, with none of the Portuguese players starting, it's a bit bizarre for me. And I suppose that's questions that need answering. Maybe. I wonder how he's getting on wherever he is, right?
I've heard that.
Doing pretty well, thank you.
So I think Leipzig, one thing that I'll be looking out for, would they be able to keep their identity against Manchester City?
That's the thing.
Because it's bode well for them so far. But Manchester City usually don't let you play how you want to play.
Sure.
So are they going to change? If they change, how are they going to then look? It's very interesting tie. I think it's one that I'll be tuning in for sure. It'll be great football. Like you said, I hope there's plenty of goals and Haaland maybe score 6 or something.
AJ? AJ, who are you predicting to get
I think
City
will win it.
Yeah.
I think they've just got
quite
too
easily,
much.
do you think?
Too much. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, 4-2 or so. I just think they've got too much in the Arsenal. Look, their bench is their bench, most of the people on the bench easily start for RB Leipzig every week in, week out.
Yeah.
These are the powers that you know. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think City haven't been terrible. They just haven't been City. So once they come a peg down below City, everyone thinks, oh, there's a crisis or something going on. Oh no, it's just a couple things need to click, and they need to play in a way in which Haaland can just thrive. When they did that, well, hello, it's simple. But when they decide to turn down the easy passes to put him in when he's making the movements and stuff like that, or getting the ball into the box and stuff, that's when they struggle a bit. So it's just little minor things. I'm sure Pep's already worked it out, you know. And I think he'll score quite a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So finally, gentlemen, let's give our predictions in terms of who's going to win the Champions League this season.
I prefer not to speak right now.
Come on, man.
I can't.
Stick your neck out.
I don't know. Genuinely, this is one of the first years I'm like, I don't know.
Well, okay. Pick the 2 teams that are going to go to the final.
Okay, that's a good one. But even then, yeah.
Obviously, depending on how it
That'd be
pans
joy.
out, it might not happen. But
Yeah.
if there were 2 teams you thought,
Napoli, just because I've been, wow. Napoli, Real Madrid.
Okay.
you think Real Madrid final again, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll personally go Napoli and PSG.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
I posed the question and I don't even know. I would love to see a good old English rivalry of Manchester City and Liverpool.
Oh my gosh.
Why that reaction? This is my point. Why that reaction? Why not?
It's not happening.
You don't think so?
No. Unfortunately.
Well, it's football, innit? We will wait and see.
Yeah. Game of opinions, isn't it?
Exactly.
So you at home, tell us what you think. Who's going to win the Champions League? Let us know on social media. And that does it for another episode of the Front Three Podcast. Make sure you tune in for our next episode.
3 wise men will listen. There's only 3 wise men will listen.